Good evening, Speed Gaming. We've got a really exciting match for you tonight. Week 2, Casual Boots. Zeke of Fluff Around and Find Out versus Maniacal of Bottles on Empty. Amazingly, Fluff Around and Find Out, which spent a lot of last season trying to avoid relegation, is so far 2-0, while Bottles on Empty, who easily cruised into the playoffs last season, is 0-2. So Maniacal trying to get Bottles' first win on the board, while Zeke hoping to continue Fluff's undefeated streak. I'm Drossi, here with the soon-to-be banned Zaffikel. How are you doing in your last moments pre-hammer?
It's fine. I had SpeedGaming never liked me anyway, and it works out. So, no, I happy to be here. Happy to come. I mean, shockingly, it is of course just week 1, and co-op weeks tend to have a little bit of interesting volatility depending on how things go. But it is within the realm of plausible results. Also, to be fair with TM32, now Fluff Run and Find Out, they had a rough schedule, and last year where they were close to relegation, but with Wolfie, with everything else, and with good showings, they'll improve. And Bottles and Empty 0-2, it would not shock me if they easily could also just go 12-2 by the end of this. So here we are.
That is also possible. We've seen a lot of good matchups and quite a few surprising results as we find Master Sword in Link's house. How about that?
If you were trying to get, as close to 5 minutes as possible, that is a particularly good start for, your Kaz Boots time. So,
Yeah, definitely.
A delightful and nice thing to find right off the bat, no matter what.
Definitely gonna make the ball and chain guard easier.
Yeah.
The boss with the most kills in Link to the Past, right?
I really wish that there was a way to get statistics like that, because it would not shock me if Chain Guard is like in the top 5 of like bosses that have taken runners out. So I say boss, but like he holds a big key. So like honestly, if you drop a major item like that, you're kind of a boss. By like RPG, there's sort of video game lore and standards. So.
Did Zeke do a map check, or was it just that he paused to kill some guards? I'm just noticing he's like a room behind already.
I think there was a little bit of got into a spat with a guard, just a couple seconds here or there. It's a minute and a half. It's fine.
Might have been checking the drop pool too.
Everything's fine.
But drop pool we need to worry less about because that first chest had some bombs.
I mean, you also have boots as well, so it's not like a regular standard where you're stuck. Like, you don't need to worry about it.
You want bombs before CAC.
You know what? You can, but the worst thing that happens, you just save and you either save and quit, which you really don't do. You smash your head against the rock by the fortune teller. You get a bomb here and there. Everything's fine. Resource management isn't a skill. It doesn't matter. You'll get bombs one way or the other. For a second there, I was worried. But Maniacal has caught back up, or we have caught back up. Some of the above, all the above.
I'm gonna check his transcoding.
He's probably got it on 1440p, as you do. Because it's not as though a game that we've all been playing for like 30-something years really does need to have it in the highest of quality. I say, as a runner who has had more than one restreamer go, could you turn it down just a little bit?
Yeah, I don't get why people feel the need to stream this game at 1080. Though, for the record, Maniacal does have transcoding available, and we have turned him down to 360, so I don't think he's overloading the system.
To be fair, that tends to be on the OBS side of things. You just hit automatic and you don't think about it. Like, I get it. Or if you happen to stream anything else that, was made in the past 20 years.
Yeah, that's fair. I know he was playing Tears of the Kingdom at one point.
Yeah, like, it just happens. You like I said, you let OBS set things for you. which because it can surprisingly do so much in the most convenient of ways, and yeah. Yeah, back to the runners. We have the Master Sword. We've got our bombs. It's just sort of a cozy escape. Like
Yeah, I may just have to relaunch the drawing app if he doesn't unfreeze shortly.
Well, it's like one of those automatic PowerPoints. We'll see what Maniacal has done soon enough. I assume a runner of his caliber is not going to die to the rats in the back of Escape, but, you know, we'll find out.
Okay, please stand by as we relaunch this.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, this was just us relaunching it as advertised.
We've found a couple items. Looks like red boomerang. Maniacal made it out just in
The
time.
shield.
Yeah, shield. We see that.
Thank you to Destro Zooks for doing the tracking here and keeping track of that stuff.
Yeah, while we get the SpeedGaming.exe is being restarted, thank you, of course, Jestro, for helping out tonight, doing the hard work, so Drossy and I don't have to, because between the two of us, we've got about 5 brain cells, and so we're going to be using all 5 of them on overdrive tonight.
Okay, looks like we've got Maniacal back. He'll catch up to Zeke, who's frozen a little bit ahead in time. And there we go. It's a mirror in Blunt Rock.
Nice. I don't think we got a map check yet. Probably not.
One way or another, we'll find out soon enough.
We'll find out soon enough. Either the...
Not a great tier 2 tree pull.
Yeah.
Ooh, big 20s from the bush crab. That's kind of nice, at least.
Yeah, you get at least one more farm of that if you really need to write in Lost Woods.
Right, if we want to do an early Zora play. Ooh, mushroom on lumberjack.
This doesn't exist.
Keep that aga in your back pocket. We may need it. And a lamp will put it in logic, too.
Yeah, I wonder, I like the, you know, again, you have the literally the most of the aga, you know, kit right out of Cat's boot, which really is just another sword, right? So you look at it, you see it, and you think, okay, maybe you can get out the way, but you don't worry about it too much.
Just another green scent.
I am kind of shocked that Maniacal, having discovered that it was the red 20s, didn't go for one more, but not. I guess you can always get it down close to Dam as well.
Yeah, I mean,
And
well, there's Back of Blindside has $30 in it.
Right, yeah, no, it's what, like, again, it's more of just the insurance. Like, it's very rare that you're not going to see a plethora of rupees at some point in all of your junk fill, so... Get your items, you get the Kakariko, you find things.
Maniacal must have stopped by something that Zeke didn't do because he has an extra heart container.
There was the heart container in the mushroom spot, which...
Zeke didn't go over. I see.
Yeah. Which...
Well, a lot of health in Blindside, that's for sure.
Already paying dividends.
And...
One get two, yeah.
Sub 8 Fire Shield. Yeah, Sphere 1.
Oh god. This is the feeling of an empty CAC, is when this happens. You just have, like, obviously we still have a lot of CAC left, but you just get some more bombs, some pieces of heart, and a fire shield. And suddenly every person who does a CAC skip just feels so vindicated. But hey, speaking of...
A bottle to show to Sick Kid.
Exactly, now
more
it doesn't
bombs.
matter. More bombs. Like, and here's the thing: it's like, all right, cack skip already doesn't matter. You get the bottle, you just do it all at once. Sorry, I am tongue-tied.
Goes and freezes again. I thought we were out of the woods. So we missed whatever's on Bottle Vendor, but here's Chicken Hut. Or not. Okay, Moon Pearl. Thank you, Maniacal, for unfreezing just in time to show us that. Ooh, Zeke could have farmed a bit more from the bush crab.
I don't think Zeke saw the bush crab. I think Zeke just like went past it. So unfortunately, it's having to do.
He is literally pulling single rupees from Blindside. As Sick Kid gives us $20 from his piggy bank, so we could have gone that route, but Zeke didn't know that. And just a piece of heart from the bottle vendor.
Yeah, Cack being a touch stingy.
Yeah, nothing on library either, so I guess Race Game is our last hope to get something beyond the Moon Pearl out of Cack. And no. Hey, there's a map check, though. 3 crystals Light World, including a 5/6 Eastern.
I mean, you're just going to play standard, you're going to do checks. Probably at some point you pray that you're not stuck doing all of the last one-offs, but realistically, it's fine. Like, you got not much at all out of CAC. You take your $50 and 6 bombs, and you say, all right, cool.
Again, we can farm bush crabs if we need to. Ooh, Glove in the Dam, so almost have Dark World access. And then that mushroom on on Lumberjack Ledge will keep us in suspense until we're in go mode. Hey, speaking of fetch quests, there's a shovel.
Ew.
I like this routing by Maniacal. Immediately check shovel.
I guess with Mirror, like, it's a thought where you could probably do this much further down the road when you see Stumpy, but at the same time, it's also right here that also just happens to be your Dark World access.
Nice.
So anyway, checking it with Stumpy wasn't going to happen.
Well, I mean, you can do Hype Cave and then mirror down to Mini Moldorm Cave.
No, you can, absolutely. I mean, this is one of those things now. You have so many different ways of routing, but yeah, run the Hype Cave.
But yeah, things really opened up for Maniacal, and now the question is, when will Zeke check that shovel?
I missed it. Zeke did not rush straight to Mini Moldorm Cave? Oh yes, Zeke did.
He did.
Okay, so Zeke is
we have pendants all down the left side of the Dark World, including Green Pendant, Skullwoods, and then Vanilla 5/6 Ice. Hello, Flippers in Hype Cave.
So that being said, we're not really going to probably be skipping too many major items.
Was that a fire rod? It looked fire. Sometimes it's hard to tell.
You set it to 360p, so it was a rod. Both require. It was ice rod.
Anyway. Okay, I caught it on the second time around. That was ice.
Doesn't matter. We need both anyway. But yeah.
Oh, by the way, Zaf, do you realize the front of Swamp is open?
I mean, it is absolutely open, and it would be...
That would be quite a clown play to rush it.
It's Kaz Boots. Like, you do things you can do, which admittedly is a fair bit of overworld, and then you make a choice. Especially with Maniacal having all this. But yeah, we're not doing the fun of Swamp. Not a chance.
Yeah, I think Maniacal is gonna, go around to Ice Rod Cave and do the Flippers check since we just got Flippers. No, he is portaling back.
Yeah, this could be, I suspect...
Oh, Lake Hylia Island. Yeah. Makes perfect sense. While Zeke is hula-hanning because he's kind of short on money. And Maniacal's filled his entire first row of hearts.
I like this as sort of just sort of a fine, like, Maniacal might end the route here and figure out what he wants to do next. Because you don't have this Zora money. You could run all the way back, or swim all the way back in this case for Waterfall Ferry, but...
Oh, and here's the shuffle play for Zeke, so he'll get his Dark World access.
I mean, you get such an early fetch quest like that, it's one of those things you probably just go and check it immediately, just in case, so... You'll feel nice about this. Like, you get a mushroom super early on, go check the thing, etc., etc. Just do it. Peace of mind.
Yeah, so here's a CAC portal play for Maniacal. I mean, again, all the left side dungeons are pendants, so that includes both Skullwoods and Thieves' Town. So, interesting question, like, do you do the front of Skullwoods and the front of Thieves? I guess probably, if you're heading this way.
I mean, at this point, you probably do, just because you don't really have, like, you could go into Aaron, right, like, as a potential, like, or maybe go up the mountain. Actually, you really can't, like, is it the fire, or the Bickies in the basement. So this is one of those things, like, you don't have a dungeon to rush, you just do probably your biggest and densest bit of checks. So this is going to be your Skullwoods interview and everything else. So just makes, again, doing the nice, big, sweeping route, getting things done, and as soon as you find an item that works for a dungeon, you go and do it, right?
Well, I mean, you just mentioned the mountain. It's out of logic, but it's perfectly available, and it's a pretty dense play.
It is, but you can imagine, too, for these runners, right? Like, if you can avoid multiple trips up the mountain, you probably want to do it maybe until you have mitts or something else. In this case, again, right, like, this is completely defensible. Get the items, get the things. For a lot of these pendant dungeons, I've heard people say this, and I think this is a fair assessment, like, this is basically just overworld. For a lot of these things, because you're probably going to be coming, you're more than fine, especially in Kaz boots, to sort of like semi-last locate some of this stuff otherwise, so this is fine. And while Maniacal is doing the front of Skullwoods, this looks like this is going to be getting some of this done. Maybe Zeke goes here.
Well, interesting hobo approach for Zeke. I guess he's going to combo this with Saha, maybe? In Pyramid?
This could be Saha. This would be probably just Pyramid.
I doubt you want to dip Eastern and Pod with so many other things available.
Probably just Pyramid Catfish. Although again, really with the money situation, you're hoping to probably not necessarily leave Catfish, but this just makes the most sense with this round.
Well, we found all three small... No, that's only 2 small keys. Dang it. I can count, really, I can.
We missed about having the key sounding tracker, someone do it for us. Well, anyway, so we're not leaving Catfish, or we're not leaving Zora behind. We have the 300, so...
Yeah, and... the third key and the second item are in the back of Skullwoods behind the Fire Rod. Oh, another bottle on bumper ledge. We don't really need that.
Not gonna see that too much, yeah. Don't worry about that.
Murder Dactyls pack a bit of a punch.
This would be really unfortunate for Maniacal on the money situation, given the 300 that we saw on Pyramid Ledge, so...
I mean, maybe he'll duck down to Pyramid Ledge before doing Catfish, or unlikely.
Very unlikely.
Ooh, blue mail from Catfish, won't say no to that.
Yeah, so far between, I mean, obviously we still have a few more things that we can pull out, but it's looking just like maybe the front of the rest of Vu / these is probably where pod or insert items here. I mean, this is kind of the one thing with this is like there's some flexibilities, and with Mirror you can kind of do a little bit more nicer grouped checks of things. Again, you probably want to try and find a bow before you go to Pod Eastern, because again, I like it just with Kaz Boost, these modes go so fast. I mean, we saw what Dr. Marty have a literally sub-hour earlier, so try and find the items, do the dungeons, etc., etc.
And Maniacal is not interested in the catfish area for the time being.
I don't blame him. Again, the money situation may deter. And
yeah.
Speaking, this is just like there's the rest of the...
Zeke not bothering with that heart container, but he is going down to pick up half magic off the ledge.
Zeke's consistent, right? Like, freestanding heart container, no thank you. The one in mushroom spot, no thanks. Okay, wow.
And there's Samaria in C-shaped house, so that's an item that we need for go mode out of the way.
So Zeke is running out, and I guess this is running down to do...
Oh, and things got a little bit spicy with that book.
Oh, this is back to Ice Rod Cave? Because I think Zeke's doing the mini Moldorm Cave left. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't seen Ice Rod Cave from either runner.
Is this faster than, like, the save and quit sank with Mirror? I don't think so. I don't know. I suspect not, but...
My head hurts.
Whirlpools are the secret cross-keys hidden tech, but yeah, I suspect that this was not the fastest way to get here, but, you know, again, it's like the last bit of this route, I suppose.
Well, Ice Rod Cave was nothing.
Ice Rod Cave is a bust, and I guess we're now to our other checks.
How few items do you need to get in the front of Thieves to do the back when it's a pendant?
I mean,
if it's a one-item front, do you do the back?
If it's a one-item front, honestly, like, Thieves doesn't get much faster. Like, if you're here, and at this point the world has not really given you much, like, with 1-2 items, Maniacal may do it. Because, again, like, Alison was saying in chat earlier, you probably don't necessarily do this. This here is your lamp.
Yeah,
that's probably DM. Or...
Two items, including the lamp.
Yeah.
And with the book, that makes Desert full clearable as well.
Yeah, Desert's full clearable. Now, theoretically, you have Mountain. You know, Hera is full clearable as well. Like, you have options. Like, I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But this is probably... Go ahead. Good.
Looks like Maniacal's gonna do Dig Game, and then I imagine K45, Stumpy, and Bombos.
Bombos, and then straight into Desert, where, like, the route kind of just plays itself at that point. You just kind of follow the green squares on your tracker.
Makes sense. You're down here. You don't have the flute, so Desert is a bit of a pain.
Yeah, we may never see the flute as well, so...
Oh, that's true. One of those weird seeds.
Yeah, one of the seeds where flute may just be sitting in GT, so we never see it. So yeah, this is kind of one of the few times you're not really going to get much closer to Desert, so... And this works out.
Right, so you can't, for example, put off Landmo and say, oh, I'll come back here when I have the flute.
Right. And I think also with Maniacal, because Maniacal did get the shovel from Dam and literally straight up, this also unorphans Agina for him post-Desert, so, like, it's kind of just a nice, like, clearing up of everything. You know,
and,
go ahead.
Oh, and I'm just thinking, when he gets to the mountain, he'll be able to check Ether, which Zeke just had to skip because he hasn't been to Vu yet. There's Maniacal's 300.
In Maniacal's case, all that may happen literally before Ice Palace or sometime never, depending on the items. So,
also true.
Like, that half magic he may never see.
And Hera Big Key is vanilla. We haven't seen the hook shot yet. Zeke doesn't have a fire source, so he's locked out.
Yeah, and this was literally the thing that we were saying is that, like, you know, potentially we could see the mountain, but there's a chance where, you know, you're just not going to be able to do Hera. You get some items here. It's not bad, though, where, like, no one's really worried about, like, oh my god, I couldn't do Crystal Hera my first time off the mountain because We have so many different ways of...
And did you see what that book just gave us?
I did not, actually. What did that book give us, Drosy?
They go on your hands and they're gold.
Ooh. So that's nice. Again, I think if anything, that feels really good for Maniacal, having skipped the mountain and being able to do a lot more of it. His first run through. Yeah, I mean,
if the hook shot doesn't show up, we'll still have to abandon 3 checks. Well, no, he hovers. He probably will literally do the entire mountain, except for TR, since we don't have any medallions yet.
Yeah, as they say, minus our medallions, but it will just feel nice to be able to kind of get the extra checks and do everything in one big sweep, so...
But here's a look at Paradox Cave from Zeke. Nothing in the 2 chests. Anything in the 5 chests? Huh. So both of our remaining swords were on Death Mountain.
Okay.
And a cape, so that puts Spike Cave in Logic. But Zeke is not interested in Spike Cave. I question that decision because it just got put in Logic. He's right there. He went to the trouble of getting half magic, even. He's running over from here. Is this really a faster way to get...
I think this is faster because you would have to go back up, or back down and up. I think it's faster from a save and quit, if I'm not mistaken. Because you have to do the bomb jump, there's like more, I
guess the bomb jump takes time.
Bomb jump takes time. I think it's more screen transitions, and if you get the spin speed, yeah, I suspect this is faster. Like, I trust the seasoned runners in chat to tell me if something is faster, so yeah.
Is that both items from Desert, by the way?
I believe so. You asked me a question literally as I start watching the other runner. I missed
Well, why don't you watch both at the same time?
Because my monitor is too big. This is literally a 2023 problem. My monitor is now too big, and I can't see both the full view of the runs at the same time.
Either way, Maniacal's finishing Desert because, as we said, you're here, you don't know if the flute's maybe even in GT.
Yeah, I mean, like, the route was really clean with everything that happened, right? So this is perfect. You get this done, like, again, you're not really getting any closer to Desert. You're kind of sad that so far there's really been no other major thing to point you in a direction. I mean, myths, of course, right? Like, but you're still hoping for maybe a little bit more. Because we obviously can't do something like Ice Palace. Yeah, Maniacal missing the key. Grabbing every other pot.
Hey, we're gonna see an Ice Rod Landmo fight. You don't see those too often.
One of my least favorite things, especially now with the introduction of Fast ROM, because my timing was already pretty heinous with that, and it just got way worse. So...
Don't worry, this is slow ROM still.
I know, and it's still bad on slow ROM too, so...
I mean, it's so slow, Maniacal is frozen in action.
Slow ROM, broke ROM, it's fine. It works out. I'm sure when he unfreezes, the crystal animation will be there. It's, yeah.
Yep. Again, shout out to Jestro Zooks, who is somehow keeping track of all this, looking at the runners' individual streams and their trackers.
Yeah, yeah. Michael's teammate pointing out, yeah, Ice Rod just freezes the entire stream, so...
But, yeah, that's our first crystal for either runner at almost half an hour in.
Yeah, at this point, with what we've got left, we either have the sort of combined Pod Eastern Saha set of checks, or DDM will give us something.
Yeah, I think if you're Maniacal, you have to go to the mountain. Nope, make a liar out of me. I'm like, you know Hera's full clear bow. Oh! Apparently the bow was on Landmo. Yeah. Okay, that changes things. Yeah. Thank you for freezing right when we couldn't see it, and again, thanks to our tracker for catching that.
It's like, well, we saw the save quit. He suddenly had a bow. So yeah, okay. So
Okay.
now suddenly makes a lot more sense.
Okay, yes. Pod Eastern is the play to do. 2 crystals are better than 1.
Clearable crystal dungeon, you go. Land bow, yes, exactly. Yeah, Maniaco's gonna get really hard, and again, thank you, Jestro, because like I think every time he's had a big freeze, there's been progression. At least early on, Zeke also got the mirror at the same time, so.
Yeah, that must have been back of escape.
I'm just gonna pull up Maniacal's stream on the other monitor. I think it was in Bonk, but yeah, just pull this up over here just in case, so I don't miss anything now.
And it seems like that book in Village of Outcasts is kind of the next big progression. That and the lamp in Thieves' Town.
Yeah, I mean, unless there was something on DDM that Maniacal was potentially going to grab, this is just probably the next sphere and fun, so. Like I said, this works out, because this is just not 1 but 2 clearable crystal dungeons, so you're never unhappy to see this. Yeah, which, by the way, we are what? Fire Rod, Hookshot, and Medallion of Choice from Go already. So yeah, just get in your dungeons, do the things.
Yeah, not bad. We can get, what, 5 crystals? No, we can't beat ice.
Can't beat ice. So yeah, and I suspect, too, that given everything, Era will just be, hopefully, from in Maniacal's case. Ooh, hello.
Maniacal going for the hardest hover in the game. Does not get it.
Yeah, I was saying in the race room that he managed to find a new and fun setup, but
Zeke has gotten his Samaria and book. Now he needs to dip Thieves' Town for his lamp.
yeah, I think in Zeke's case, this is literally all he has left, again, aside from the Pod Eastern dip, which, as we're seeing now. So, and this will be, again, the straight line, just right to Desert for Zeke, so, and Mitts, and everything else along the way.
So yeah, we'll see if Zeke after Thieves' Town does the same routing as Maniacal. But with a butter sword!
Right, yeah. Although, like I said, so it looked like Maniacal had just a totally fine time, in case you were ever like, oh no, my one cycle land, my butter sword probably makes it just that much easier, so.
Yeah.
In case you have just not the best aim or timing with Ice Rod, 2 extra swords helps out just a smidge.
And our non-small key items in the front of Pod were the big key and a heart container, so everything's in the back today.
Nothing else, the seed is just being particularly kind with heart containers, even if Zeke is trying to avoid all of them.
Maniacal's starting to, take a few zigzags to raise funds, just in case he needs to do Zora.
At some point, and obviously we know there's nothing there for him, it's like, alright, well, literally, if nothing else, because so far Crystal Pond has had a whole lot of nothing, it's like, I guess I can go that way.
Now, this is interesting for Zeke. He got progression, but is choosing to do the Back of Thieves for 2 items.
I mean, maybe you don't feel so good because you went up the mountain, got nothing but a t-shirt and these 2 swords and other stuff, so you don't know that, obviously, that the other items are going to be along the way kind of opening the world up a fair bit, so I don't hate it, and if you're looking for some variants, this is something to do. It's less appealing, especially when you kind of got the lamp and you got a book and you have a crystal dungeon to do and stuff along the way, but I can certainly understand it.
Oh my!
Well, so anyway.
For those of you watching at home, that was the fire rod in Thieves' Attic.
Yeah, you just find fire rod. Like, you could do other things, or you find a third item. And at this point,
I mean, Maniacal is well ahead. The question is, will he get funneled back to Thieves before he blows his lead?
I mean, okay, so let's think for a second here. If Bombos isn't the medallion for TR and doesn't show up, we're probably not stepping foot into ice. Depending on if the hook shows up, it's very likely that Maniacal says, okay, I don't have too much more, probably does the same sort of mountain sweep, finds out what his medallion is. At that point, if you think about what's left in the world, you'd have the back of Pendant Thieves, you'd have Smith Chain.
You gotta hope Flute doesn't show up.
You gotta hope Flute doesn't show up. But again, sitting at all of 0 medallions,
That is true as well.
Like, probably, but I suspect it's not going to be forever that Maniacal doesn't get back to that. Like, of course, we see Bombos. You could find ways to distract yourself, but yeah, it probably depends on if Hook shows up and if maybe Bombos and like the TR medallions. But even then, like, you're probably going to find your way back here at some point.
I wonder if Zeke's feeling behind. Ooh, hello, Bombos. So we're not doing ice without the back of Thieves Town. That's actually kind of good for Maniacal.
Can't stop memeing. But no, okay, so yeah, like, we're not going to Ice Palace at this point, clearly, because we can't. So, and depending, like I said, on what the medallion for TR is. This feels really good if you're in Zeke's shoes, for a number of reasons, right? Like, again, Zeke really didn't have much left, though, right? And this is Kaz Boots. We're probably not really going to want to do Pod Eastern without a bow, and you kind of suspect that your opponent's feeling the same way. So, like...
So, people talk about the rule of fire. What do you call it when all 3 fire things are sitting in Pendant Thieves?
I'm not gonna even try. I told myself I was gonna keep my memes to a minimum. I don't know what you call that.
It's fine. The seed's memeing for you. You have no choice.
I feel fortunate. Although I'm probably in Maniacal shoes at this point, so I don't know it. 20 minutes when that nonsense happens, I just feel frustrated. And if I'm, what was it, League of last year, if I'm CJ and, what was it, Zephyr? And the other
yes.
bombs.
I make things go boom so many times!
Yeah, so, anyway, that's...
Zeke copying Fred Coughlin's method of spelling out high in the dig game.
I'd love to see it.
Oh, now Zeke's frozen. He was jealous of Maniacal freezing so often.
I saw Zeke starting the dash up, but I don't think Zeke has the mitts, so I was curious about that bonk, but hey.
Did he never do brewery? Is he doing back of Skull Woods for the green pendant? This looks like Ped check and back of Skull Woods.
I guess.
What I was going to say was maybe the powder will bring Maniacal back to CAC and he'll do the back of Thieves while he's at it. I don't know.
If I'm in Maniacal shoes, I think after this, like I said, I'm probably going up the mountain. I'm checking my
Clearly.
medallion. Yeah, like I really have not much left. Um,
Now, Mountain is clearly the densest play, and he will get a crystal out of it.
yeah,
Maybe hook shots on Moldorm, and so the Hera basement play is forced.
I mean, this is introducing maximum chaos, but at that point, I mean, for Maniacal's sake, I'm probably not doing Hera basement if I can help. Like, maybe literally the last thing on the mountain at that point, but yeah.
Did Maniacal just skip the Eastern Big Chest?
No.
Okay, it must have just looked.
I believe
Weird.
that was actually the big key. Again, that was around the time, once again, that we were pondering what Zeke was doing, so...
Now we know that Zeke is just finding sources of fire because he's a pyromaniac.
I have to admit that I'm a little shocked by this play from Zeke, but at the same time...
He's probably feeling lucky after Thieves Town.
I mean, maybe not. Like, this, to be fair, this is one of those things where, like, it's Kaz Boots. You could certainly, like, make the case for, I want her to find something else in... You know, before banking on Bomba's tablet, you know, because I don't have Mitts. Mitts could literally be anywhere, kind of blowing the seat open, even though we still have Pod and Eastern. You know, in Zeke's case, you know, we know that it really amounts to all of nothing on Maniacal side, but yeah, you could just be following your Fire Rod, follow your items.
This is a very nice MSU, by the way.
It is. I believe Zeke also made the MSU, so not only is it the MSU, but Zeke made it.
Well, Ped's dead.
Ped's dead. That's fine.
I guess Zeke will... Nope, he's not portaling here, so it'll be a while before he gets his mitts.
Allison's actually bringing a really good point in chat. If you get the Fire Rod and you're like, that's it, and you bail to do everything else, the bomb was probably even worse.
Yeah, well, we'll find out soon enough if Turtle Rocket is Bombos, and that's what really matters.
Yeah. I don't hate this from Zeke because I just got the green pendant. I'm gonna follow this, and this literally is my densest check. Or densest set of checks now.
But unfortunately, he's going to be double dipping Pod and Eastern.
This is certainly a bit of a... Oh, Spotly, okay.
So we're going to get our first look at Ether Tablet from Maniacal.
Whole lot of nothing on the Saha side. Probably not all that surprising. Big tablet, a whole lot of nothing. And for probably Maniacal shoes, I checked the front of Hera. I see that it's a whole lot of nothing.
But apparently he is not checking Hera for the moment. He's more interested in East Death Mountain.
Sure. I guess. We don't have any medallions, so you probably don't really just want to go sit on top of TR just for that entrance. So you can do the normal go to the bottom, get Paradox Super Bunny, go up the top, etc. Check your medallion, etc., etc. So yeah, if Bombus is required, it's probably really bad for Maniacal at this point, so we really don't necessarily want that.
I mean, unless he's really persistent in Thieves Town.
Yeah, but think about what he'll have left on the table, though. Bo was on Landmo, so
Yes.
Zeke will... Yeah, so, like, that's the thing, right? Is that, like, I get that Fire Rod, and suddenly I have Ice. I probably have a lot of, other things I can do. I have Skull Woods. Like, this could be one of those things, like, I'm in the attic, but with that's just the one item left, you're probably bailing on that and thinking, nah, it's an ice palace. See, I think if you're a bottle,
tempered at least.
Yeah, we'll get the rest of it. Yeah, everything's fine. So yeah, if you're a bottles on empty fan, good lord, you're the one drinking and I'm the one stuttering. You really don't want Bombos to be the TR medallion here. You're kind of hoping for something that we've not seen and then it's just literally anywhere. But and if you were a huge Fluff Run and Find Out fan, you're really hoping that it's the Bombos and that Maniacal then goes to Fire Rod, sees it, bails, etc. So we're gonna get, the reveal here momentarily.
Okay, it's Quake. There you go.
Yeah.
Ooh, and Zeke not even doing a potion. I don't think he ever bought any potions. So he's trying for Mimic Clip.
And
not too long.
Yeah, no, I mean,
faster than Ninban.
Rest in peace, Ninban. I mean, to be fair, if you have even a moderately good bufferless Mimic Clip, you're on the order of like 15-20 seconds. It works out. I think Zeke's bottles had a B and maybe empty. So
yeah, he turned down the ones on Bumper Ledge and inside Spec Rock.
Yeah.
Oh my meme hook shot!
I'm done. I'm out. This is such a stupid scene.
Who rolled this? Oh, wait a minute. I think I rolled it.
This is just... Huh. So, probably Zeke is going to be looking for that hook shot in Ice Palace when he eventually heads that way.
To answer chat, Bo is on Landmo.
Yeah,
or at least the one we know about. There's another one out there somewhere. And seeing as we have no flute, you have to run all the way to Desert and enter with the book.
Yeah.
And hey, Maniacal just saved himself a lot of trouble. He can Harapot now. Zeke's palette swap is interesting. Those blue rupees look red.
I think this really works out for his MSU, the Bloodstained Ritual Tonight. Like, it's bloodstained, so it's thematic. It's fitting. It
Maniacal. that was the whole thing. You skipped the big key.
I mean, a hook shot is basically a big key for all intents and purposes.
So 50-50 now on whether that second item is in the big chest.
Maniacal does not. Remembering that I'm on SpeedGaming, Maniacal doesn't care. Maniacal is probably going to get the item, maybe go Spike Cave, and then just go straight to Swamp.
Did you actually, manage to withhold language that would have had me ban you midstream?
I occasionally have some self-control, so...
Wow. Okay, there's our second item on Moldorm. We've cleared Hera.
We've cleared Hera. I really doubt that Maniacal was going to do that anyways. The hookshot opens up enough. So
Swamp is full clearable.
Swamp is full clearable. Again, we know exactly where both of the fire sources are. So yeah.
Yeah, but we're locked out of TR for the time being. With any luck, Quake is in ice.
So we're 45 minutes in, and it's kind of in a weird situation because we're we're basically in, we're in one item no mode. We're kind of going back to like the scenarios where Maniacal gets back to the Fire Rod are pretty rapidly rising. We can't go to ice. We have no flute, which is probably sitting in GT. Unless we maybe find a flute in swamp. So probably after this. And our again, our 5-6 as well, Ice Palace, we're probably heading back to Vu to get the last of the stuff done. In the case of Fluff Run and Find Out, the really crazy edge case, considering Zeke is spending some time doing all of this without a bow, like he's getting his big keys, like this will be, come back sooner or later, rather than
Yeah,
later.
but the double dip of Pod and the double dip of Eastern is not quick. These aren't bosses who are fast to rush.
No, you're right. Getting back to Helmasaur is not exactly quick. Again, especially with no flute as well. Getting back to Armos, again, is time consuming.
How dare you use language like Armos?
Thank you, Twitch auto moderator. I appreciate you. However, again, one of these weird situations, if we end up in this sort of like, what's the craziest sort of out that Zeke could have, is that Meyer is Bombos with Quake and Meyer kind of weird things. But yeah,
But
Zeke
then
now,
Flute would need to show up.
Yeah, Flute will have to show up at some point, obviously. So yeah, Zeke doing the right thing, going to this portal, gonna get Bombos tablet into desert, gonna find his mitts, and the world is going to be a fair bit of his oyster. It's gonna feel probably a little bit bleh, given the location of the bow that we know about, but kind of again, and Zeke doesn't know this. You really feeling good about that fire rod right now? So, Maniacal, thank you for not holding out your sword to do the Ulu clip. The number of so like here, PSA, you don't have to hold out your sword to drop the bomb for that clip, and there are a lot of people that I've seen do it. Your sprite doesn't slim down to squeeze in. You can just go over to the right, face down, drop the bomb, and everything else. This is your SpeedGaming PSA for not wasting time on that screen.
Oh, there's our Quake. I guess Maniacal can go into TR if he really wants.
No, there's no way.
He's now Fire Rod from Go mode.
He is Fire Rod from Go mode. There's just... Yeah. Okay, so...
I don't think you go back in... Oh, no! There's the flute! Thanks, game!
Well, one half of the nonsense puzzle had showed up, but yeah, whatever.
If you're rooting for Maniacal, you hope that Meyer is Bombos.
Well, and again, like, the thing about this, and at some point, Maniacal's going to run out of stuff to do, but every extra item like that does add more things for him to check, right? Like, Pendant Thieves, 2 items, Vu, like, it's also... However, with Flute, there is a world where he's like, yeah, I'm going to activate this. I mean, it's slim, right? Because, if you think about what Flute opens up, it's 3 really reasonably quick checks with Meyer Shed, with Checkerboard.
You know what's crazy?
What's that, Drosy?
Maniacal momentarily will have a 5 crystal to none lead, and yet Zeke still has a chance.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, the double fire in Thieves does mean that we're not likely going to be looking for things forever. Like, we're not going to be hunting for Fire Rod on Ped, obviously. It just so happens that Zeke has done the remainder of the checks, and Maniacal has, like, between the two of them, like, we've really not got that much left. Good lord.
Honestly, I think this would be a pretty serious race if Zeke had gone to Desert before Pod and Eastern.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that would have been 100% different, right? Because Zeke gets his mitts, and then...
he's gonna eat like 5 minutes having to go back and clear Armos and Helma. Oh, Maniacal is going back for Left Side Swamp, okay. Not gonna find anything there.
Maniacal, no. No, I mean, we're obviously not going to find anything there. Yeah, I think you need to grab this key if you're going back for
Yeah.
Upside Swamp. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like it doesn't really. You don't have that many places you can easily look for fire rod that are super super dense. You're here. You don't want to potentially just leave your fire rod here. We know, of course. Thank you. Yeah, we know where all the fire is, so it's just kind of a matter of time, I guess, before Maniacal gets back to Thieves. But again, like every other thing he finds will stop that. And so this is getting to a point that he's about to get his bow, just really heave a big sigh of seriously game, and then go to Potty's turn. So there's the question: why is the skip not used more in Swamp? Or is it new? It is very new. Was discovered not that long ago. And there was a whole issue with legalization and that back and forth. It was legalized on ladder, and then people were using it more and more for tournaments. So,
And eventually the community voted to legalize it by an 85-15 margin.
yeah, people really wanted it. So, all right. So if I'm maniacal after this, maybe. So I still have water check if I'm maniacal. So I need to do Catfish, Zora, Waterfall Fairy. After Left Side Swamp, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Zeke, meanwhile... Oh, is he doing ice? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in Zeke's case, there were, what, like maybe an item left in each? I've got Fire Rod, I've got Mitts, right?
Yeah, right. And 3 checks in ice, it beats cleaning up 2 crystal bosses that you're just going to do for the item.
Yeah, I mean, and you also have Samaria too, so like this is going to be very quick. You know, again, it sucks that he's not going to get it, but this is not super slow, all things considered.
Yeah, and Maniacal doing Ice Rod Cave in the... Well, no, not Ice Rod Cave. He's just going straight to the Whirlpool.
Yeah, so...
Is this a... Oh, Catfish, okay.
Yeah, so this is the Catfish, the Zora play and everything else, so... So we know this is a whole lot of nothing. Ice is a half magic over here, so Maniacal will feel a little bit better about that, but yeah. Yeah, if I'm Maniacal, I have Back of Thieves for 2 items. I have Hammer Pegs, I have Smith Chain.
Smith Chain includes Hammer Pegs and Magic Bat. Let's just think of it that way.
Yeah, so I've got 6 items there. I'm really, really not going up the mountain just to open TR.
6 items.
In powder, right? So 2 in Pen of Thieves.
Smith you're including Pendant Thieves. Okay, got it.
Sorry,
okay.
Yeah. So in the area, plus I'm activating my flute, but I really don't think we're going to Dark World to activate flute. So as opposed to Meyer, which may have, Meyer area. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Meyershed and Checkerboard are such quick checks. You might do that.
They absolutely are. And this is the thing. It's like, it's very unlikely that he's going to stop what he's doing to do all of that stuff, where Meyershed, Checkerboard are 3 really quick. And again, like, when you make the decision, you're really hoping that Meyer is not a medallion that we have.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think Maniacal's gonna dip Fire Rodless TR except as a last location, so he's eventually gonna have to pick Thieves or Meyer, and that's assuming he can get into Meyer.
Right, and I think it's just, you start balancing your density and time, right? Like, it's not just like the density of it, but also like how I can sequence things and make sense of it. And so I really do think this is just going to be activate my flute. I guess also with the flute now, and also why he kind of did the way he did, I don't think he ever checked Ice Rod Cave 2.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, he could flute to 8, but that's an odd sort of one-off, and it's Sphere 1, and you kind of figure that, like, if that's where it is, you're screwed. Like, if you're doing an Ice Rod Cave check at an hour in, and it has your progression, your opponent's probably had it forever.
I mean, yeah, but you have to beat the game at some point. Like, yeah, it would really just be a kick in the rear end if
Well,
that.
hello, Ice Rod Cave.
Okay, well, um,
Zeke found junk in
but
Ice
doesn't.
Palace,
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much that Zeke possibly could find.
but it's going to be a nice, fast cold stare fight.
Yeah, got half magic. I've got butter sword. I'm feeling really good about this. But yeah, this is what I was saying, right? That, like, yeah, Ice Sword Cave feels a little bit doofy at the hour mark, but also, like, I don't have much left. And this is to Meyer, like kind of what you're saying. And if he can't get into Meyer, he's probably going right back to Vu, because I don't think there's literally anything left on the map for him.
And Meyer is Ethers, so if you're rooting for Maniacal, you better hope that the key isn't under the doormat.
I'm going to be honest, even if the key is under the doormat, I still think Maniacal
Yeah,
is in a good spot.
Zeke has to clear up these two dungeons on the right side, which seems to be where he's going, and he has to go to the mountain and get his hook shot.
Like, even if I sequence this in the worst imaginable way for Maniacal, and maybe even if I find Ether here, I'm probably still doing the backup end of these at this point, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to Village here.
Yeah. Rusty, I literally think he has nothing left. Like, I don't have his tracker open. Like,
I mean, this or you go into Turtle Rock without the Fire Rod, and Maniacal isn't that memey. I could see runners who meme enough that they would do that. Maniacal isn't one of them, but it looks like he is doing Smith Chain first.
Yeah, this is the dash. Like, I don't even think Jula would do that. Like, the most ridiculous things you could contrive.
Remember there was League Team Clown Routing 101?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think to Barnes' point, it's like, but I think if Ether is here, which probably at this point it's not, right? I think it's like statistically it's just going to be in GT. I still don't even think it's all that bad. Like, okay, Maniacal goes, he gets the 2 items out because he's not clearing the dungeon looking for it. I mean, okay. Like, between everything we know and, like, statistical likelihood, that Ether is sitting in GT.
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to get his Fire Rod again in the next couple minutes.
So, Magic Bat now. The question is, does he do Back of Thieves before or after Purple Chest?
I don't think he does. It's probably after Purple Chest, right? Because I pick it up, I mirror. Like, I walk into Vu, I mirror, I flute over and flute back. You also have to remember,
right. You just leave your portal in front of Thieves.
Or like somewhere in that dash line, probably should have Thieves. You also have to remember too, Zeke, even with having the right medallion, is gonna have to go up to get. Assuming, or in his case, assuming that Bombos was, we know he still has to get his hookshot out of Hookshot Cave and then come back down the mountain to go back up the mountain. So, like, this is, even in the worst case scenario for everything, this is looking really good for Maniacal. Looking really good if you're a Bottles and Empty fan. And yeah, he's going to drop this portal over here. Skedaddle on over.
Yeah, Maniacal will get a Go Mode Ice Palace.
Yeah.
So that'll save him some time in there.
Yeah, I don't remember what the Ice Palace layout was. I was sort of half paying attention, but like with Icebreaker, it's fast already. So
we got a Cane of Burna.
We've got some stick of some color.
And Zeke's got his third crystal. I can count, really, I can. Anyway, give these runners a follow. They are great guys, great runners. They've been putting on quite a show for us tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they
deserve your support.
These are 2 very seasoned runners. I mean, Invitational Caliber, Kaz Boots is also a really interesting mode, and they're both kind of doing like making interesting decisions and getting to follow up on them. So it's a really fun race to watch. Like I said, unfortunately, if you're a Fluff Run and Find Out fan, we're kind of in the I hate to say no chance in hell kind of stage, but
Yeah, I mean, it would be a lot closer if Zeke weren't doing these double dips.
right. And this is the sort of unfortunate part. And like if you look back on it, in a way, like okay, I had the route to desert, but if you don't believe in that, you just think about density, like, and also the way that the seed's playing. There were so many items left. Like he had the green pendant for Saha. He had not even touched this. Like it made sense. It just was not the right play. And Kazboots just, it's happens to sometimes be a numbers game. You play your density, you play your odds.
So there's Maniacal's go mode at about 103.55.
Yeah.
I believe Ninjembro versus Dreaky is the other matchup between these teams this week, and that'll be Saturday morning.
Yeah, both, well, Drakey being in Europe and Ninjembro being one of the unfortunate human beings that is a morning person. I don't understand that type of human being. So yeah, that will be a really good. I mean, again, two similarly high caliber, high class runners that we'll get to see play this mode. So yeah, this mode not being high caliber or high class, but this is as someone who is a key sanity and entrance nut. So I have feelings about Kaz Boots. I didn't.
Don't worry, we've got plenty of Key Sanity and entrance weeks coming up.
We have 2.
I mean, Pilot Spoiler is a Key Sanity week.
Is it? I mean, yes, by all accounts, it technically is, but I'm not doing the thinking. Someone else is doing the thinking for me. I mean, that's not entirely true. But that is fair. Yeah, I think also too. I was trying to remember this. I was trying to find the source on this, like frantically hitting Control F. There's a really interesting stat somewhere out there about like likelihood of medallions in GT with like one or both of obviously like with your dungeons that require them per entry. Like someone ran the numbers right, like on seeds where you have one of them, like you're going to find so many medallions pre-GT, so on and so forth. And I was really trying to have that super interesting stat, and I can't find it. Structural Mike is still sleeping, probably. So, if I were
well, he's also a morning person, so he'll be up by the time this race is over.
He might actually be up because the number of times I've seen him at like 4:35, like 10:30 Eastern, showing up for like the @entrance pings. Yeah, he might be around sometime soon. So. Just to chime in, tell me what the number is, and then go make coffee
And like, this was sure a nice go-modable Ice Palace for Maniacal, because in the time we've been discussing this, he's about to drop into Cold Stare.
Yeah. I mean, again, we've seen basically what the seed could possibly have, so this was going to be quick, and now he has to go back up the mountain.
And unfortunately for Zeke, his go mode is not here because he's about to find out that he needs Quake, which we know is in Swamp.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, it's not as though the Bombos is injury, so he can't, like, potentially go super deep looking for stuff. He's gonna go get his hook shot, skedaddle, and then come back right up. He's probably just gonna save Hera for right before GT. Actually, maybe not. Maybe if you're in Zeke's shoes, you just Hera pot, get it done. Ice is one of those weird seeds, and again, I'm horrific at trying to evaluate your position, and I'm, even worse about trying to evaluate someone else's position. What you would be thinking about at this point? You probably think, oh hey, the Fire Rod, like in Pendant Thieves, kind of cool. But then you dipped Pod and Eastern for a long time. You kind of missed the semi-clean line, like if we were drawing Hyrule map on Paint, like the line all the way over to the mids. Like Zeke's probably feeling in a weird spot because the seed is still very fast, right? Like Maniacal will be done probably sub 125.
I mean, possibly sub 120 even, depending where the GT big key is and whether silvers show up on the way.
Yeah, I was like, depending on like a couple of things, like we obviously have enough, depending on the layout of like your keys and TR. Like you could sub 120, but definitely sub 125 100%. Like he's certainly an execution good enough to do that. So, like I really don't suspect it'll take that long. Or if he gets deadrocked, he may just spend 17 minutes on this screen. So,
I mean, GT big key and tile room might prevent him from sub 125ing.
yeah, I mean,
And a Turtle Rock key layout that forces him to completely full clear the dungeon.
I wouldn't wish that on anyone at this point.
It's okay, the rando gods just want us to have more quality time in the comm booth.
And like I appreciate you. I don't think we've gotten to do this for quite a while.
It has been a while.
Has been a while because I think we did a Sabotender race last year. Was the last time you and I did comms together. So
Those were the days when underachievers were in the Invitational League.
they'll make it back. I mean, look, Sabo, again had a really good showing yesterday. Like that's a really scary team. Like it is entirely possible they just bounce right back. And if Sabo actually like gets the time to play the game, wouldn't take much for that team to show back up. So, but this is not the underachievers. This is Bottles and Empty versus Fluff Round Find Out. Unfortunately, like I said, Maniacal on the way to his keys and his situation.
This is a pretty nice layout, especially if there's another small sitting in Chomp's room.
Yeah, you potentially get to skip looking for a small key on Laser Bridge. If there's a small key there and I just steal the Poke Key, I am hoofing it toward the back. So
Zeke having a bit of trouble with Specky Clip, though.
I missed what happened. Okay, thank you, Zeke, for not doing the thing. He's moving too soon. He's backing up too soon.
Third try.
There we go. Yeah. Well, that's why I'm an expert on like analyzing other people's Specky clips, but having watched my teammate and then someone in one of the races do the set the bomb down and back up a little bit too early, or like stutter step back up, it will mess you up.
Oh, and Zeke is also about 10 seconds from go mode.
Yeah, Zeke's about to this go mode. He's gonna, cliff it, and then we'll go. Shockingly, all things considered, like Zeke did a lot of bad dips, but will not be super far behind.
Yeah, he just needs to... Right. He'll go up the mountain. He'll be about a TR behind and have to clear Hera.
Yeah, which with a hook shot takes, and Butter Sword takes literally no time at all.
In fact, you're made of tachyons. You finish it before you start.
I wish at that point, like, the boss would be like, don't come up my tower. Like, here's, like, leaves the crystal up the floor. Like, you're gonna just beat me up. Like, take my lunch money. We've done this song and dance. But no, sadly. Some of the things, like, if runners had stats and, like, the bosses could know something, you're like, someone's like, you know what, you can skip going through Turtle Rock today. I'm just going to leave all my goodies at the door. I don't want to get beat up, so... Yeah, and so if you're maniacal, you're hoping, please give me a small key right here so I don't have to go to Laser Bridge.
Yep. Well, we probably left silvers in lava chest or something.
Probably. Or again, they're just sitting in GT or on Trinex. Or, they're in Misery Mire with your Ether and GT. So you were never going to see the other bow. There was no way to meme this seed about your second bow because you were just never going to find it.
So had a bit of trouble administering the coup de grace there. But he's 5 crystals down now. Didn't try the backdoor strats for the zero cycle. Ah, well.
I mean, you've got butter, you've got all the things. Just smack the heads. Do what you gotta do.
You've also got red mail and 17 hearts.
Yeah, you've got. I don't think.
Good thing we grabbed all those early heart containers, right?
Yeah, I mean, the seed was literally just vomiting them at us. So yeah, I'm not gonna do the normal speed gaming guessing game of like what numbers the chest. Drosy, what location do you think the big key in GT is?
Well, I always like seeing it bottom left rando room, but that's just me. Do you have a favorite location?
I have been, again, all of my GT big key betting of late. I'm gonna say Fire Snake chest.
Ooh, that's a rare one. And by the way, you can waste your channel points too on it. But yeah. You just want it to be one check earlier than where I want it to be. I see how it is.
No, I want it to be just far enough out of like the normal DM strats that we see. So it's like, someone's like, I could have gone hope left or whatever. Speaking of potentially going.
Also, that was an interesting routing choice by Zeke to finish Hera before doing TR. Normally in that situation, you do TR and then just mirror in front of GT to complete Hera.
Yeah, I guess in this case, I don't.
Or maybe he's just so in the habit of not having had the hook shot for most of the game that he didn't even think about hook shotting across the bottom.
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe it's a matter of saving like mirror transitions, but you gotta do it at some point anyway. So you just go from TR to GT at this point. I don't know the timings. I'm gonna let someone that's a lot better about that, but I suspect it's just 6 of one, half dozen the other at that point.
Anyway, we're 6 checks in and no sign of the big key.
Yeah.
And we didn't DM route.
We didn't DM route. Yeah, after the advent of all the rando rush from main turning and everything else, it's nice just to see sort of a really cozy, comfy hope left. Like, you just, all right, I'm going to take this route. I'm going to go.
Well, hope right, because you get a small key in hope.
Well, yeah. Hope, parenthetical, maybe more.
I'm always intrigued by the people who go left even when they get a small key in hope.
I think that they're maniacs. But, you know, they certainly like to play the game the way they want to play the game. So far, still no big key. A lot of small keys. So maybe I'll be wrong, and it's not going to be Fire Snake, but Fire Bar Room.
I was tracking Kaede Rukawa versus Shady Force earlier today, and they both went to Hope Room, found a small key. No, they did both go right after the small key. Never mind.
I'll say maybe
I'm tired.
Maybe in Shady's case, like, you know, he's not played the game in a bit, like Newborn and all. Like, you know, he does weird things. Kaede is a strange character and makes insane routing choices, so they both work out.
I mean, the game was Shady's to lose, and he lost it.
All right, well, I was wrong, so we're getting close to your guess of bottom left rando. I'm
Yay!
out. You've got my internet points, which I guess.
And we're also getting ever so closer to chat's choice of tile room, because chat always chooses tile room.
Yeah, we're getting close. I did like curse maniacal of potentially a not sub 125. All right, well, there's our ether. So
yes, we can go to Meyer now. There's also Maniacal's 18th heart container. I'm worried about whether he can make it on the Ganon fight.
That's like, again, kind of going back to the thing we said earlier. This is the point where Ganon sees your health bar and just keeps getting bigger. It's like, nah, I'm out. I'm done. Just no more.
And yet, with this full clear of the basement, we have not seen the Silver Arrows yet. They're probably on Laser Bridge. Or maybe they're in Mire. That would be fitting. And chat is overjoyed.
Okay.
I mean, it's a meme seed. We had to have one final meme.
Maniacal, probably just a big, huge sigh of like, really? Is there anything else in the seed?
I'm surprised she doesn't activate the cape.
Oh, he could hold the wall.
Maybe he just likes dodging tiles.
I think also, like, I don't think he's got anything in his bottles, so, like, just not wanting to spend the magic. Like, at this point, I mean, he's obviously dropping some Aria blocks.
And what do you know? No one voted for Tile Room, you all lose your points. See, Pit of Blood in chat, who said 22, should have put his points where his mouth was.
Also, Maniacal getting very close on arrow count. Oh, please don't pick that chest up. Okay, good. I was like, with the lasers on screen.
We still don't have silvers anyway. But that is 7 crystals for Zeke. I mean, maybe he rushes Tile Room and suddenly pulls close. It's still not going to put him in the lead, but...
No. There's just no. If Zeke just goes to Tile Room, sure. At this point, yeah.
Honestly, kind of impressive, given how completely different routes the runners took, that they're both in GT at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, this, again, luckily for the runners, they weren't stuck in going into Mire looking for items. Like, with what the seed threw at you, luckily there weren't too many crazy divergences. I mean, we literally saw Maniacal last locate the fire rod. Like, there was nothing else left for him to do.
He could have dipped TR. He would have gotten locked out at Chain Chomps.
Yes. Right, because we had big key, small key right side, so...
But you would have to be a madman to do something like that.
Right.
One might even say you would have to be maniacal.
Okay, Drosy, thank you. I appreciate you.
Love you too, Zaf.
Well played, yeah. Like that file said, well played. I have no other words for you. Yeah, I am apologizing now.
Hey, there are the boots!
It still messes me up when I randomly, I think it's like ladder where you can see the actual boots icon, and it's like, really? Okay.
Oh, that was an interesting visual glitch.
Huh. Okay, sure. I have no idea what just happened, and I'm not even going to try and explain it. But,
And we found the bug net. free Moldorm.
No.
Maybe you can put Moldorm in a bottle?
That's OOT. That's the next generation. We went from 2D to 3D, then we could put bugs in a bottle. I guess we have the B, but, bigger bugs.
So I guess the only things we didn't see are parts of TR, Meyer, and GT Big Chest, right?
Yes. Literally seen everything. And to be fair, given how much we've actually seen, two things. One, we're still going to get like a very low time for Maniacal. But also, two, the right side, where the tracker items, we still haven't seen. Well, we...
Hey, Zaf, remember how I said that if GT Big Key is in Tile Room, Maniacal's not getting sub 125?
I'd like to point out to Bottles on Empty that I was not the one who did that. That was Drosy. So if you're going to be upset at anyone in the post race, it's not me.
I'm going to be curious to see what Ganon says about the silvers.
Probably just in my tower. Just because he can.
You know, last week Fear and Gamma had a race where they found silvers in GT Big Chest. It was impressive.
I would feel bad. Like, at the point, maybe you find it and you're looking for, like, Master Sword silverless. You do the thing. At that point, yeah, you're just like, I'm looking for an item. I'm gonna find an item. And co-op too, right?
In the Light World? What did we not check in the Light World? Mimic Cave? No, that counts as Death Mountain. Zeke checked Ped. We saw that was Couch Cash.
Does Mimic Cave count as Light World?
Mimic Cave clues as Death Mountain. What the heck did we not see in the Light World? Zeke checked Ped. He turned in Green Pendant.
Must be mushroom.
Oh, mushroom! Oh, the mushroom that was on Lumberjack Ledge. Okay, so the silvers were behind Aga. That is incredible. Wow. And get your GGs in for Maniacal as he takes down the pig.
Chief Maniacal.
I completely forgot about that mushroom on Lumberjack Ledge.
Yeah, that would in fact do. Choose in chat for Maniacal. Race time of, I'm just going to spitball and say 126.42 because that's what his timer says.
126.40 actually.
Okay, well, sure. Yeah, and I think realistically, when it comes down to it, it was the double dip of Pod Eastern that kind of was the nail in the coffin, because all things considered, with Maniacal having to literally last locate, I said literally not. Again, we could have done the crazy thing, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the time differences... I think Maniacal probably still wins by a small margin if Zeke doesn't double dip those, but...
But speaking of both of these runners, they have both joined us. Welcome in, Maniacal and Zeke. GG's.
Hey, GG's to Zeke.
GG, Maniacal.
Thank you.
I'm gonna let y'all talk. Yeah, how do y'all feel?
Oh man, this one. This was wacky. This was really wacky for me. That I don't think I've ever had an early game that was quite like that. And so I spent a lot of the seed feeling a little disoriented. Sorry, Zeke, what was that?
A seed that stingy?
That's stingy, but then also like just where the conditions under which it spit Dark World.
Yeah, and also really, I mean, y'all left Cat with just a bottle.
Oh yeah, it was kind of weird.
And then the quick follow-up of glove into like, oh, I got the shovel, and they go check that real quick, so with hammer. But
That seems like so far ago, it was like, is that even the same seed?
Unfortunately, yes, it was the same seed. This race did in fact happen.
Yeah, this one, I felt good about the open and book hitting mitts into Desert Bow. I felt like that was a really good sequence for me. But then, God knows when anyone gets the fire rod in this, and then I started to feel pretty nervous. Like when Swamp was not the answer, then I was like, I don't know about this one anymore.
so Zeke had a slightly different route. Zeke, if you wanna, because you basically did a far different route, all things considered.
Yeah. You said fire rod go, and I expected that.
Yeah, it's reasonable. I thought it was fairly likely. I'm guessing hook go is also pretty reasonable. I'm trying to remember where Quake was.
Quake is to go in his case, but
Quake was go.
Quake is in swamp, and I wasn't diving hook.
Oh, Quake was in swamp. Yeah, I knew it was somewhere in sequence. I couldn't remember if it was behind the bonk hook or like in swamp, or if it was just in a mid sequence.
No, I ran into the problem where I felt that I did most of the Dark World loop into like Zora in one trip, and then did Village. And since I'd already done Front of Skull Woods, North Dark World, all I had left really was Bolus Dungeons and Thieves Town.
Yeah.
I opted to just go with full clear Thieves Town at that time.
Very reasonable.
I was kind of hoping that Bombos would be useful too. Because you say fire on go mode. Bombos is on blind.
That's what I saw from Jestro in chat. I popped over to pull up the chat. And I thought it was, based on the fact that you found it, I thought it was probably Pyramid Ledge, but...
Pyramid Ledge was actually a 300, which actually came in handy going down to Torzora.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was really stingy, so I kept routing away from Catfish to Zora, and eventually did it after Swamp. When I was cleaning up and looking for, just a couple things. Fire Rod at that point for me.
Yeah, unfortunately, my gut said after doing the Thieves Town area, if I just gone to Desert instead of going to Thief Eastern Pod, I think I'm much closer than I am. You finish, I'm entering Gauntlet, for the record.
Yeah, I pulled up the stream and saw, you were waiting on your big key, and it looked like you also, last located Tile Room as any judicious person. There's wild people out there, and I thought...
I know, I'm friends with one of them.
Yeah, I thought maybe, just maybe, if you felt really behind, you might have chunked some time on me there.
Unfortunately, I actually felt like I could have a chance on that fire rod.
Yeah, I just... Literally, I was down to go back to Thieves for the fire rod, go into fire rodless Turtle Rock.
You would have gotten kicked out of chain jumps, obviously.
Yeah, in hindsight, yeah, I would have.
So at least that would have been a quick kick out, but that's
it would have been
a fast trap.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been all the way to Mimic Cave or Laser Bridge, thank God. But
I've played too many fire rod on Laser Bridge Siege.
We played a fire rod on Laser Bridge Siege. The weird edge case scenario that we kind of concocted was Maniacal. You end up back for in the weird case of it's Bombos for entry, and you get the fire rod. Is there a way that you would bail at that point, right? Potentially one and so on go mode. That was the out that we were trying to think of, where if Bombos was required, there's a world where you might have mirrored out of Thieves Town with the fire rod, for an example. But yeah.
I guess that was before I went up and scouted the medallion.
Right, yeah. At that point, we kind of knew, okay, we're that was before TR. As you're opening that, as what weird edge case scenario does that, that sequence of Strange happen? Because we had seen both from Zeke much earlier on, so yeah.
For a while, it looked like Bombos might be my Ice Palace. And so I was just looking for anything to give me Ice Palace. and I was thankful to hit Fire Rod. At that point, it was favored to be Fire Rod just because Bombos could be in Ganon's tower, but yeah, it was fortunate in that regard.
I am glad
saw
I
it.
paid attention to key logic today, because given I had Fire Rod and Bombos, I went to Ice Palace fairly early.
Mhm.
And so I was like, okay, I can do Ice Palace into Eastern and Big Bomb, and then all the keys are right side. And it's like, I'm looking for a hook. There's a good chance I'm looking for a medallion, but I'm looking for a hook. I'm not going to do that until I know if I need something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that hook shot location was pretty crazy.
Yeah, good old bonk shot. I mean,
Yeah.
on the bright side, Maniacal didn't hover something from me. So I'm guessing you might have done a pod right side hover or something.
I dropped an input on the rail. I think I got like a weird diagonal or something. I don't even know, but
okay.
I just lost time today, which
I mean,
it be that way sometimes.
The only time loss matters is the ones that lose the race, right?
Yeah, I mean those ones are definitely the ones that you really regret more. But I felt like I played a pretty clean race.
Pod Eastern.
Yeah.
Those would be pretty good time losses today. Because I'll admit, I saw the pulled Fire Rod, and my next thought was, let's get Green Pendant before I go toward Eastern Desert Pod.
Mm-hmm. And yeah. I think it can make sense to greed that a little bit. I mean, there's so many items over that way. It makes sense. Going down toward desert is, it's relatively thin, even though it is a crystal.
And my brain said I should go over there. It was expecting a hook shot over there as part of it. And I was like, if the hook shot's over there like I think it is, then that... And if it blocks a bow, which it wouldn't have in this case. If the hook shot is over there, I can combine Swamp into Bombos into Desert. But, alas, it didn't work out that way.
Not unreasonable, though. But yeah, I was down to very little before I finally went back to get that Fire Rod, but not having the Fire Rod kept me out of Ice, kept me out of TR, so it worked out okay. My route was to dive TR, and then if I got kicked out, finally go to Pyramid Ledge and Mirror and do Castle for my mushroom.
Hey, it would have gotten you silvers.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have got me the Fire Rod, so...
Where were silvers?
Apparently Mushroom. Apparently they're in the Light World.
Yeah, that between the two of you, that was the only Light World check we didn't see.
Huh.
So that Lumberjack Mushroom.
Yeah, I mean, I think that basically had to have been it. Because as we were talking about, I guess, because Mimic Cave is apparently Death Mountain.
Mimic Cave's Death Mountain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell I don't know half of these checks because I think of entrance and all the hints for theirs.
I can never remember how they... Maniacal, you might know better. The only edge case I can think of... Do Blacksmith Chain count as Dark World or Light World?
That's one that I can never keep straight, honestly. I
Either.
don't play modes where it matters enough. Like, I'm not leaving Ganon to go find my silvers in any mode
me
that I
either.
play.
It counts as Dark World, but Maniacal did Smith Chain anyway.
I did Smiths pretty early after Swamp. I think I ran over, did my Flippers stuff, and then I did Mitz West Dark World because I'd gotten the flute. And,
I mean, all you had left at that point was Smith's Back of Thieves and diving TR without Fire Rod.
And Pyramid Ledge Mushroom.
Oh,
but yes,
right.
that was what I was down to. So I did Smith or Hammer Peg Smith Powder, Purple Chest, left the portal in front of Thieves, and then fluted back to go into Thieves to finish. And that was kind of the whole deterministic endgame route. So I did the Smiths pretty late, but I did get to them eventually when I was looking for that Fire Rod.
So if you did Smith Chain, and I imagine you did Magic Bat too, but
yep,
then that means it has to be Mushroom, because those are the only Light World checks I can see on my map. No map check, so see on my map is completely figurative here.
I had a map tracker, and I'm pretty sure it had to be that. I did start clicking some things off once logically they were excluded, like pedestal couldn't be my fire rod because of Skullwoods and things like that.
It's a cache.
Okay.
I checked it on before saving quitting after Mothula.
Yeah, I got the book late because I dipped Skullwood's front on my way in to Dark World.
So
did North Dark World and then Village. So because you went up because you got the fire rod. Yeah.
Moth. It just
yeah. So Moth had to be an item.
Moth was an item, in fact.
Yeah.
And
had to be.
At time I checked was that on the way. I didn't know because I actually did the front and left big key chest because I was like, I don't wanna.
Yeah. I did right side big chest because it was the big key, then big key chest, and then came back with the small key to do the rest of the front.
I just dropped in and prayed that it wasn't a soft lock.
I probably should have. You're favored to get away with it in that particular scenario, but
I mean, there's three keys. So long as it wasn't the second item and map compass, it was fine. And if it was, then I knew where to go if I needed to go to Mothula.
Yeah.
So, actually, bomb the big key bomb. Actually, no. With big key and the bomb found, there had to be a small key in those three because the only other checks for small keys other than those are bridge and big key chest. So there had to be a way out from there.
Yeah. And I didn't put it together in time. But yeah, because Moth can't be the small key. I only just
now put together an hour later.
Turns out it's easier to do that when you're not trying to pilot Link around screens.
Yeah.
But yeah, GG's Maniacal. Congrats on your first win for the season.
I think this is like my first Kazboots win in Invitational, so thank you. I'd run pretty bad last season.
You and I have run against each other a couple of times. I think it's mostly in your favor.
In this mode, sure. You've got your modes. Any inverted mode and probably any entrance mode, I think you probably got me pretty solidly. So, I'm sure you'll get your pound of flesh again soon.
Yeah, I'm not picking up. I don't know if I'm next picking up a controller in week 5 or week 6. So.
Yeah, I've got week 3. I'm gonna have to play in week 4, and then I think I'm playing week 5. I think I'm doing all the first 5 weeks, and then I'm not allowed to play in week 6.
Is Ninjambro not letting you play week 6?
I'm not allowed to play entrance unsupervised. So if we get to do co-op retrance, I'll get to run co-op retrance with Barnage probably.
I was gonna say, if it's co-op retrance, it's you and Barnage because you guys have fantastic synergy.
Yeah, we have a lot of reps at that, and we have a lot of fun with it. But if otherwise, I'm not allowed to play entrance, and my teammates like entrance more than I do, so it works out pretty well. But thank you, and GG to you, Zeke. You guys are off to an awesome start this season, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this group plays out. It's just going to be a bit of a bloodbath, I think.
Understandably, I'm still rooting against Ninjambro as much as I like you guys.
Well, that's fair, and I'm rooting for him. As much as I like y'all, I enjoy getting to race you, but we got to get those points.
I would kind of like to not put us back down to even in week 2. So catch that race on Michael, do you happen to remember? Was it like 9 a.m. Saturday?
It's 9 a.m.
Saturday at ungodly o'clock. I don't know what.
Yeah, because we have your Ninjambro on a normal human schedule, East Coast, and Dreaky over in Europe. It works.
Yeah, that works pretty well.
And then you have you, who likes his nighttime hours, and me, who's toward the West Coast anyways.
I would like to argue that 9 a.m. on a Saturday is not normal even for morning people. I feel like that's just teetering on the edge of insanity. But
Zafkel, you know full well we have a friend whose hours start at 5 a.m. every single day. Also, they're not normal people, so you probably are right.
Again, teetering on the edge of insanity, but
I may wake up and watch it from my phone in my bed very groggily, but I probably won't be that active in chat.
Oh, I thought you'd just stay up late enough to watch it.
I'm not quite on that full blown of a degen schedule right now, but
Not saying.
previous seasons I may have done that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be fast asleep. That's 7 in the morning over here. So that's 7 in the morning. I've been staying up till like 4. So
Hey,
I
you
think
could just stay up a few hours later and watch it.
no. I want my sleep, Drosy. I'm sorry. Drosy, I've done commentary at 2 in the morning before. You know that, right?
Yes. I've seen you do it.
Likewise.
But anyways, I think Drosy and Zaf would like to close out this race. What do you think, Maniacal?
Seems good enough. I don't think there's too much else to say about this one. Just GG's. Hope it was a fun race to watch. It sounds like we did some pretty different stuff, and so those usually end up being pretty entertaining.
Oh yeah, the divergence was quite something.
Yeah,
I mean, I got a clean mimic clip, so that was nice.
Yes, you did.
Hell yeah. I just ran out of arrows and had to get the pot.
I was like, wait a second, you have 2 arrows going into this, so
Yeah. I had a plan.
I believe you had a plan. It was just terrifying from the spectator booth, so but I mean, one of the cool things about getting really good runners such as yourselves on is that we can just kind of, Dross and I can sit back and let y'all do the entire post race. So but yeah, I have nothing else that I want to say. Drossy, do you have any final words?
Nope, other than GG's again to both of you guys, and please give the runners a follow. They're really awesome.
Yeah, thanks for the comms. Thanks for the tracking. Big props to Jestro, who's just always tracking races.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, thanks to the crew, especially my good friend Zafkel. I know he's been wanting to get some race comms in, and I figured he saw this and was like, yeah, that would be a good one.
It also was Drossy going, hey, when do you want to do comms? And I was like, this is my late day of work, but... and it worked out. So I get
just took a little bit of arm twisting.
Just a little bit of arm twisting, but also, again, like, I get to comm for good runners, and it's always fun to do that, so...
So Drosy, is Zafkel banned from SpeedGaming comms yet?
He managed to actually censor himself at the last minute. I was amazed.
A couple of times, thank you very much. I was too tired to really... to get into what other channels would have let me down on other nights, so... And it's
the
also
worst word he said the whole time was Armos.
Yeah, thank you, Twitch chat. I mean, like, I'm also not calming for my own teammates to where, like, I can sit there when I pull my hair out and go, what is happening? Like,
potato salad.
Yeah, that's some... also what I would like to call what my teammates did in week 1. But anyway, this isn't about me. This is about y'all. So...
Yeah.
Anyway,
thank
we
you,
should
guys.
probably sign off here because it is just about midnight on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I know our runners are not on the East Coast, but our comms are.
Wait, Zaf's on the East Coast? I thought he was West Coast this entire time.
No, I work West Coast hours. I live on the East Coast. This is why I'm particularly degen. And I don't sleep, which makes it even worse.
I legitimately thought we had a... between the comms and the races, I thought for a minute we had all 4 continental US time zones. So...
For all intents and purposes, I'm West Coast. So we'll count it up to that, but yeah.
I think I just mixed your time zone up with Halazoon's. I'll be completely honest.
I mean, they're the same person, right?
No, he's Diet Alazoon.
I'm Diet
Right.
Anyways.
I forgot that.
You're welcome.
Drosy, thank you again for the opportunity to calm. Runners, thank you.
Thank you for joining me. I'm only slightly broken.
Perfectly fine. That's what I'm here for.
Anyway, we're going to get you over to SpeedGaming 3 now, where Gamachu and Purdy-Wong are facing off, and I'm sure curious to see how they're doing. We have Fear Agent and Radical Sniper calming that one, so...
A lot of commentary, Drosy.
Yeah. So yes, let's head on over there and see how that's all going.